No, dude. Surf Ninjas.
Oh, of course.
Surf Ninjas. Terrible movie, I would assume. But I loved it.
Worst movie to ever win a Best Picture.
What? We in. Chris and Kyle show. What's going on, everybody? That's Chris.
Hey.
I'm Kyle. We're talking about Onward today.
Yes, we are.
The newest Pixar film and maybe the last movie we'll see in theaters for a while. Yikes. Potentially. Kind of weird.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a lot of streaming stuff. So
yeah.
This is an Onward / coronavirus episode. Was not prepared for this.
That's what the people want.
Was not most of America was prepared for this.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, I mean, everybody knows at this point, but the COVID-19, the coronavirus is, as we speak, the president is Trump is doing he's announced a state of emergency and all that kind of stuff. So people are taking precautions and buying way too much toilet paper. I don't know, like, people think it's like a hurricane or something. They think they're just going to be shitting everywhere.
I saw a tweet from somebody that was like, I feel like I should be shuttering up my windows. And I was like, it does feel like that.
Yeah, it's weird. But
very similar to
just
hurricane.
Stay inside and wash your hands and you should be good.
Yeah.
And don't go touching people. Just, just take precautions and you'll be good. But coronavirus does kind of tie into this episode for Onward because of the effect that it had on Onward's performance at the box office.
Right.
Which I have the numbers. I don't know if this is entirely true. I had heard it was the second lowest Pixar opening ever at the box office. But when I look through here, it's way more than Toy Story 2 and A Bug's Life were. But the numbers on those two are so low that I feel like there was something weird. Like Bug's Life was 291,000 and Toy Story 2 was only 300,000. There's no way those were real opening night numbers.
Right.
Or opening weekend numbers. That seems like it was like a limited
release something
kind of thing, yeah. Because like Toy Story is the first ever Pixar film. It grossed $29 million opening weekend. That would be the lowest, I think, but it was also the first one. Onward grossed like 400,000 less than The Good Dinosaur. So you had asked if Good Dinosaur was the other one. No.
Yeah.
But a big reason to believe Onward has performed the way it has, monetarily speaking, is because people just don't want to go out. I think there maybe was there a marketing issue for it? Do you think at all
for Onward?
It seemed.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's hard to gauge, especially now that we live in Los Angeles. We see billboards and things for movies everywhere, and I see Onward stuff all over the place.
True,
but I mean, I thought the trailers were good. I was excited for it, but it's also a very niche thing. Like, that's a movie aimed at things I like. I also do think it's, I'm not sure if it should be this way, but it might be a little bit more boy directed. I don't think that a boy or girl couldn't enjoy this movie equally, but the main characters are male characters, and it's
fairly androcentric. It's more geared towards guys.
And Chris Pratt is very, he's like a fart joke kind of character, but he loves this world's version of Dungeons and Dragons. Did you enjoy Onward?
I did.
I did too.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Did you cry?
Well, as we know...
Those are two first questions.
I said on the last podcast that if I didn't cry, I would say it was a bad movie.
Okay.
So if I said I liked it, means I cried.
Means you cried.
My Pixar bar is that I will shed tears.
Okay. Yeah.
I just assume that when I see.
Let's move on. Let's move on from coronavirus shit. Let's just talk about the movie itself. I was surprised with the amount of like actual D&D references that are in it.
There's a Critical Role reference.
Really?
One of the fake names, at least they might have done it by accident, but
okay.
One of the fake wizard names that Chris Pratt's character says is Allura.
Oh,
Allura,
okay.
Allura Visora in Critical Role.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, that might. Could be.
I would guess.
Be a Critical Role
I would
reference.
guess that there are at least a few people that worked on this movie that are Critical Role fans. I would assume.
Sometimes I think about that as well. Like, is like how many like really famous people are like fans of like something like Critical Role? You know, like
who's like the most famous Critical Role fan?
Well,
I don't know.
Like, would like Brad Pitt be into it? You know, like what if like Brad Pitt
No
was like
way.
a secret D&D fan? Like,
See, like Stephen Colbert might be the Critical Role fan. I would believe that. He's played D&D with Matt Mercer.
yeah, I watched that. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Anyways, so yeah, but like in the game or in the movie itself, they reference a game.
Yes.
Like a tabletop role playing game,
Yes.
and it's like kind of mixed with like Magic because like there's like cards and stuff like that as well, which isn't exactly D&D.
It seems like they combine D&D and Magic into like one experience in this world, into a role-playing game that is
Right.
based on real history, according to Chris Pratt's character.
Yes. It's weird like doing a spoiler episode for this because it's just good. Like I would just recommend people to go see it, especially if you're into like fantasy elements. If you
Yeah.
play D&D, absolutely go see it. Yeah, and it just seems so like exactly what you would expect from a from fantasy elements being in a contemporary setting.
Mhm, like a suburban setting.
Yeah. It's exactly what you would expect. Do you like?
No,
do you
do
think
you-
that
but,
you
like-
would cry?
It's exactly what you expect, but would you say that it's like predictable?
Yeah, fairly.
It's predictable in like a way like
It's not predictable in a bad way. Just
Yeah.
because a movie is predictable doesn't mean that
yeah, it's a Pixar
especially
movie.
if
So when they summon the dad's legs, which I love that running bit.
Yes.
the Weekend at Bernie's bit going out on throughout the movie.
the idea of a dad being like reincarnated as a pair of slacks is hilarious.
Yes. And led to some, like, to me, really impactful emotional moments that I wasn't expecting. The dance sequence, just the patting on the feet, and that's how he would communicate.
Yeah, really
and how
good
he would-
visual elements.
Yeah,
They're really sweet.
Beautifully animated movie, too.
Absolutely.
What was I going to say? Oh, there's a level of this movie felt really personal to me.
Okay.
And I think it because what's the guy's name? Dan Scanlon, I think, is the director. Yeah, Dan Scanlon. Scanlon with an O, not an A. A lot of the stuff in this movie is directly based on things that happened to him in real life. He never knew his father. His father died before he was born. There was an audio recording of his dad talking that he would listen to when he was a kid, and he would wonder, like, what was my dad like? Like, really personal moments from throughout. Like, that scene in this movie when Ian, Tom Holland's character, is listening to the recording of his dad talking is so sad. It's like a gutting moment. And it just feels so personal, especially when you find out that these are just directly taken from this guy's life.
First moment of tears for me throughout
Was
the movie
that
was
recording?
that scene.
Yeah.
Was the recording.
Brutal.
Because it's like it goes from being like, okay, this is sad, to being like, oh, this is actually really sweet, to just having your heart ripped out. Yeah. It seems like a very personal movie, like you said. Yeah.
And then to take that, so like from a writing perspective and from a creative's perspective, you're making something really personal. It's clearly influenced by things that this person loves. I bet you Dan Scanlon plays Dungeons and Dragons based on this movie.
Right.
I'm sure he loves fantasy stories. He's read Lord of the Rings. He's read The Hobbit. He loves these things. They're influenced into this movie. He's writing a really personal story, telling a really personal story, and Ian has become his analog. And then at the end of the movie, he makes the choice to let the other character, the older brother, be the one that interacts with his dad. Because he's come to the realization that Barley, Chris Pratt's character, has been that person for him his whole life, that's been there for him and lived out these experiences that he wanted to have with his father. He realized he had them with his brother, and that killed me.
I would say that, like we were just talking about predictability, that was probably the one moment that was the least predictable,
Yeah,
and
I agree.
it seems the most like sort of probably one of the most unromantic, and I'm saying this in a very specific way. So like I'm not referring to like love, romance here.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking to like the way that it was shot. We're both big fans of Manchester by the Sea. How many moments in Manchester by the Sea are like really gripping emotional moments, but you see all of those moments while they're 30 feet away from the camera.
Yeah.
Right? You see two people interacting, you're not hearing what they're saying. You just know what's happening, and it hits you harder because it's not, a CW melodrama where everything is, like 3 feet in front of your face, and it's just constant over the shoulder
I wish
shots.
there was more of that in movies. Like,
yeah, man.
I wish there was more full body, full environment shots. One, like, you're not cutting in between, cut to face. You're just watching two people. And from first of all, if you had Manchester by the Sea coming up during the Onward podcast, drink or buy a lottery ticket. I don't know. That's a great little combo there. I appreciate it. But there's that. So what you're talking about specifically is the scene at the climactic scene, the big fight when the school turns into a dragon, which I loved. I thought that was really fun. Especially because early in the movie, Ian would look up at that cartoon dragon that was the mascot of his school, and he felt a disconnect to everything around him. He didn't have friends. He didn't feel like he really belonged anywhere. And it was like a reminder of this cartoon dragon just staring at him. Yeah. And then later it becomes a thing he has to fight. I love that. But then after that whole thing, he's left in this sort of debris of the battle, and he's watching Barley talk to his dad. He can't even see his dad's face or hear his voice.
Exactly.
He just sees them embrace.
We don't hear what Barley is saying, what the father is saying. We just what's happening. Yeah. Like, if you've paid attention throughout the entire movie, you know that Barley is saying goodbye. He's saying
he's
sorry.
making a dumb joke. He's literally asking him what his wizard name would be.
Exactly. And it's like, I don't know, letting the audience just sort of make that connection in such a climactic moment with someone who isn't your main character. It's ballsy. Yeah. And like, I really enjoyed it. I'm really glad that they did it.
So this connects to another thing that I think is interesting. We think of Pixar as making movies for kids, but not really anymore.
I don't think that way.
Pixar started out making movies for kids, but they've always been enjoyable for adults too. They've managed to bridge that gap that a lot of it's I don't want to like throw an entire production company under the bus, but most DreamWorks movies, adults don't like them. Like Minions, like those kinds of movies. They're usually just really bananas humor for kids. It's absurdism for kids to enjoy.
Usually the best kids movies are ones that are also enjoyed by adults.
Yes.
Shrek.
Yes.
Is a good example.
That which is a DreamWorks movie.
Which is also a DreamWorks movie. Like, so it's not like all a DreamWorks movie, but Pixar just always they're
always
so
deliver.
consistent.
They always deliver
with the quality of their movies.
That being said, there's so much about this movie. An entire major plot point of this movie is Ian's list making, and how important these lists are to him to experience these things with his father. And early on, he makes the list of how to invite people to his party or whatever, or how to be the new him. And part of it is inviting people to his birthday party. When do kids learn to read? Kindergarten,
right?
Ish, 5 years old ish.
Yeah.
Right. If you're a little kid, how do you even comprehend a whole plot point of this movie? They never read the list.
Okay.
It's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm to the point where, like, Toy Story came out. Let me get it right. Toy Story came out in 1995. I was 2 years old.
I was going to guess 98. Too
Okay.
late. Okay.
I was 2 years old when Toy Story came out.
Right.
People who grew up with Pixar are our age. They're in their mid to late 20s, early 30s.
True.
And I think Pixar knows that. I think there's a level of the way they're crafting their movies and the people they're making their movies for, or making sure that can enjoy these movies, are young adult people. And they get that, which is crazy to me. I appreciate it. I love it. I love Pixar's movies.
Right.
I just think they aren't taking for granted their audience, which I think a lot of other things do.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that like the young adult has become their priority. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say it's their priority.
But I would think that I wouldn't say that like they're unaware.
I think when Pixar executives sit down for the heartless, cold business meeting of like, how is this movie going to make money? The worst part of movie making. And they say, what's going to make it worth it to make this movie monetarily? They say, well, kids love cartoons. Kids are going to come out. So then they say, well, wait, how do we make sure that our cartoon movie that kids will love can reach a broader audience than that? And the first thing they say is, well, the kids' parents enjoy it, and the people who grew up with these movies can still enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, you've basically got everybody now.
Right.
It's amazing.
Right.
This movie, I mean, I wouldn't say that this movie is made for young children in a way that a lot of Pixar movies are. The main character is like 16 years old. There's entire plot points that are about, you need to read a list. So if you can't read yet, you can't follow the plot entirely. You can gather. I mean, a little kid is going to watch this movie and they're going to laugh at the pixies and they're going to think the magic is cool and they're going to think Barley is funny.
Right.
This stuff's still going to work on them, but there's subtleties to all Pixar movies that I really appreciate and I think work really well.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think that like when you look at the Toy Story campaign, like that entire franchise,
1 through 4.
Yeah, 1 through 4. When you look at the development of that in itself,
it grows up.
Yeah, it grows up, and when you see the development of Andy and the development of the different characters throughout the entire series, you definitely get that Pixar is aware that their audience is growing up as well, and they're trying to reflect that with their movies.
Let's talk about upcoming Pixar.
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for Soul?
Yeah. Soul, really interesting.
So one played before Onward when I saw it, but a new one just came out like 2 days ago, which looked even better than the first one that I saw and had really interesting changes in the animation style and stuff like that they're doing. Not only from the real world to the Soul universe that he falls into, but then there's weird 2D black and white animation and stuff like that too.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's really interesting.
I didn't see that.
Pixar has made a move to stop making as many sequels, and it just started with Onward. Onward is like the first one, and I'm pulling up the list right now so I can see all their upcoming films. Oh, come on, you got to have it, Wikipedia. I don't think they have it. I'll keep looking. But the first one was Onward, and the next one is Soul. And I was just talking about how the main character of Onward is 16. The main character of Soul is like 40. Mm-hmm. Is there another Pixar movie that stars an adult that isn't like a creature? Like Sully and Mike Wazowski are adults.
Yeah.
But they're creatures.
Yeah, they're monsters.
The Incredibles are a family.
Yeah. Lightning McQueen is probably.
Yeah, the cars are technically adults. That's true. Yeah. But it's like has there just been one that stars an adult? Like an adult human?
I can't think of it.
I can't either. So Soul is the next one that I see on here. Oh, why are you making my life hard, Internet? I can't find it. All six upcoming Pixar movies. This is a little old, so Toy Story is on here, but Soul. I can't find it. Forget about it.
Okay, yeah.
I know there's other ones
right
that I've seen, but I can't remember what they are. But anyway, it's like there's a level of soft reset in the Pixar universe, quote unquote, of diving back into original ideas that I'm really excited for.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
And it starts with this movie Onward, which I really enjoyed, and then Soul, which looks like it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx, by the way, is the star of that movie.
Really?
Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey.
There's definitely going to be some music, right?
Yeah, he's a piano player.
He's a piano player.
The main character's a piano player.
You have Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know he's...
Yeah, but
if he doesn't sing, I'd be shocked.
Right, but like... The thing is, like, Pixar started off being like, we're not going to make musicals.
That's true.
Right? So, like, I'm interested how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, is it going to be kind of like a La La Land, Whiplash
La La Land is a musical. I would
La
say.
La Land is a musical.
Whiplash,
but like,
I would not say is a
Whiplash,
musical.
not a musical, but it's
where's the line? Is there a word for that? Is there a name for that kind of movie? What's the line there?
I don't know.
Like a movie that uses music because the characters are musicians.
Right.
Versus a movie that uses music in the way a musical does.
Right.
I don't know what the line
like,
is.
what is the line between Whiplash
Is there a
and
different
La La
name
Land?
for it?
Yeah.
I love both those movies. Yo, we've got Manchester by the Sea, La La Land, and Whiplash. Woo, we're killing it in this Pixar app. Mm-hmm. What is there anything that you can think of that like didn't work for you in this movie?
In Onward?
Yeah. I just went on a huge tangent and we didn't talk about Onward, but
no.
Really?
I wouldn't say anything didn't work. No. You?
I just think because I just like the Pixie stuff. When I watched it, I was like, this is funny for kids. It's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was like, I wasn't like cracking up watching the Harley Pixies or whatever you want to call them. But that's not something that I'm like, I think is bad. Mm-hmm. It's just, I am able to recognize what it's for. You know what I mean? I actually liked, it really felt like they were able to take side characters. So like Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, the mom in this movie, is often relegated to just waiting and worrying in a movie like this, right? They actually gave her agency and stuff to do, and she was part of the solution to the problem at the end. I thought that was good storytelling.
Right.
A way to just like make sure you use like all the parts of the buffalo kind of thing. You aren't just leaving characters aside for no reason. I thought the cop bit was pretty funny. When they pretended to be the centaur. What was his name? Bronco?
Yeah, Colt Bronco. Colt Bronco.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. And it led to another really emotional moment when because he can't lie during the spell, when he says Barley's a screw up and it causes the spell to fail.
That's probably like my second favorite part of the
really?
Entire movie. Yeah.
Was
to be honest,
that conflict?
It surprised me.
Yeah.
Literally like the main character Ian, right, saying that Barley wasn't a screw up, and then
causing the magic to fail.
Yeah, causing the magic to fail, revealing that he's lying, that he actually thinks that his brother is a screw up. So heartbreaking, and like such a good use of like, and it wasn't expected. I didn't expect that to happen at all, because it was just such like a. There's already conflict, right, with them trying to evade the cops and everything, and trying to deceive these people, the other cops, so that they can get away.
By the way, scene that got the movie banned in Russia was that scene.
Really?
Because the Cyclops cop says she has a girlfriend. So Russia Russia was like, get this movie out of here. I think it was either Russia or China.
Cannot be Putin Natin in there.
What is it about good story? Like, I agree with you. That's a masterful combination of world building, meeting, storytelling, and conflict and character interaction.
Yeah.
Your rules of magic are being used in a funny scenario to create drama after the fact.
And conflict.
Which drama is basically conflict with resolution. That's drama.
Right.
What is it about going to a Pixar movie where like you said, this movie in a macro sense is predictable, right?
Yes.
They're going to bring back their dad and they're going to meet him before he reverts to being dead or whatever. In a macro sense, you know what's going to happen in this movie. But we keep bringing up these small moments that were unpredictable to us in the micro sense.
Right.
What is it about, like, I think of, like, the bridge scene. I believed, in my heart, I was tense because I thought he might fall. But it's a Pixar movie. I know he's not going to fall. Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. How are they able to pull that off?
So I think a good quote that Pixar does really well, like, and I've heard this about good writing, is that like usually good writing is reliant upon simple characters but complex plots, right? Simple characters but complex plots. So you have something like that in a macro sense is very simple, right? You have two kids that are trying to meet their father again, and one for the first time, and another trying to
create a fifth memory.
Right. That's a very simple idea. But in order to do that, they are in contemporary suburban
magic fantasy
with
setting.
Fantasy, and the magic's kind of gone away. And the van is basically
adventure.
His steed.
I love that.
And and it's fairly complex, and there's all these like rules, like, okay, like you have to believe in yourself, you have to focus in order to
By the way, what are the game mechanics for the game he plays to make sure that your PC is believing enough?
Right.
I'm interested in playing that game. Is it dice based? Do you build your belief up and down somehow?
You have to.
Is there like a morale score? I don't know.
No, you have to, like, as a DM, you have to gauge the amount of confidence that they speak with.
That's tough, dude.
Zolciak wouldn't be hitting shit, dude. Sorry, guys, for all of these inside D&D jokes, but
oh no, just play D&D and you'll get it. It'll be fine.
Dude, I didn't know that Octavia Spencer was the Manticore. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it.
Did you finish your thought about complex ideas and
I mean, for the most part,
sorry.
like, so that's what I'm saying.
simple characters and complex
Simple characters
plots?
and
That's what it
complex
was?
plots. Yeah. So like,
It seems like that could get you into trouble, because then
It
you might
could
make a
definitely be
you might
taken-
accidentally make a really convoluted story.
right. Yes. If you don't understand the story enough, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. But my main point is that like you have a very simple idea. Like you have this brother that's a screw up. You have this brother who's younger, not as much of a screw up, but has never met his father before. You know, and I think that is very simple. Like that is something that emotionally can resonate with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then you just make sure that you show that in a very interesting and creative way. And that's what Pixar does throughout all of its movies.
They're masterful at it.
Every single one of its
Yeah,
movies.
like
does
what is
that.
the macro pitch for Monsters Inc? Like a man who has trouble like connecting basically adopts a girl.
Right.
Like he finds love in this small girl. Like
Right.
that's basically what Monsters Inc is about.
Mhm.
It's about Sully and Boo.
Yeah.
And then Mike Wazowski's his best friend and hysterical.
Yeah.
Standout Billy Crystal performance in Monsters Inc. So good. So dude, Monsters Inc is elite. Monsters Inc is elite.
It is.
Anyway, I think that's an interesting thought. The macro simplicity to the micro complexity of Pixar movies. That's kind of, I never really thought about it that way. I mean, I don't really have much else to say about Onward other than the problem is like, don't go see it probably because you probably shouldn't. Like,
Right. But in the future, you know, if you're watching this
when it comes
year
out on
from
Disney
now,
Plus,
when there's only 1,000 people left in America because everybody else has died from coronavirus,
it's not going to be that
right?
bad. Calm down.
You know, track this down.
Find the original reel.
find
You got to
the
play it in
original-
a projector.
Yeah, exactly. Find someone who knows the story by heart and can just tell you the story, I guess.
Olaf Frozen
know?
2 style.
Yeah.
You didn't
I
see
mean-
Frozen 2.
No, I didn't. I just smile and nod, dude. Do you want to talk about the Simpsons short that was before this?
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Really cute Simpsons
Very
short.
cute. My
starring
initial-
the little girl. Is that
Maggie? I don't know jack about
Simpsons-
Simpsons,
Simpsons
dude.
seem
It's,
like
I just to some people that's like blasphemy, but I just don't care. Like
I
I'm
like
like that with most adult animated comedies. I just don't care about them.
Right. I respect The Simpsons. I like everything that I've seen from The Simpsons. This short, especially, I thought
It's
I
cute.
think that it's
So
noteworthy.
it was kind my so here's my this was my reaction to seeing it happen. Simpsons Disney welcomes Simpsons to the family or something comes on screen.
Mhm.
And I go, "Oh, okay."
Mhm.
Short starts. I go, "Oh, that's right. Pixar always has a short."
Yep.
Oh, they're doing a Simpsons short?
Right.
That was my initial reaction. Then I watched it and I was like, "All right, that was sweet. It was good."
Yeah, I thought.
But
it was really
like, you know, then I think of what was it called with the food, the Asian food. I think it's Korean food, the dumpling ball
good. Is
things.
it called Bao or something?
Bao
what
was
it's
so
called?
good. Or remember the one with the little bird
Mhm.
on the beach?
Oh yeah.
Oh, like they're so good. All like Pixar shorts are always so good.
Right.
And then this one, I was like, I get it. It felt kind of like, what's the word? I'm like corporateism. You know what I mean? They were like, let's make sure everyone remembers we have
I
the
didn't really
Simpsons
feel that
now.
way. I was like, I enjoyed it.
I thought they
it
did
was really sweet.
I thought the
I thought it was funny.
execution was good,
Mhm.
but it had the soul of a suit decision. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
Like
I-
they
I-
sat
I
down at
disagree.
that same business table, and they
Yeah.
were like, "How can we make get people to subscribe to Disney Plus
Right.
after watching this movie?"
Yeah,
that's kind of the vibe it gave me.
I mean, I disagree. Yeah, because I thought it was sweet. And,
It's a sweet short.
And I've seen. I'm pretty sure this isn't the first Simpsons short that I've seen. There was another one that was up for an animated short film Oscar
Oh, I
a
didn't know
while
that.
ago, I think. But I'm not positive. It's been
Mm-hmm.
a while. It was from a few years ago.
There's also
Anyways.
it's another thing. Like there's so many little bits in that short that no kid would ever understand. like things that are said on signs and like the fact that it's funny that Homer Simpson brings her to the worst park. No kid understands that joke. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's because Homer's a piece of shit.
As far as I can tell, dude.
He just wants those tacos. Yeah, he's just hungry.
Tacos.
But yeah, it was cute. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the source of it seemed kind of shady to me, but the execution, like things that Disney, it's like Disney as a whole, right? Like Disney as a whole, at its soul, is like an evil corporation, but their execution of things is so good that it doesn't matter.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm like, yes, Disney, take over the world. I'm fine with it. Buy everything. Yeah, I liked it. It was good.
Yeah, go out and watch it.
I really like the movie.
Even if you are not super into fantasy stuff or D&D or like,
you don't have to.
Kate watched it and she liked it.
Yeah, you don't have to.
She enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So
cool. So what are we gonna do next? We might do a recommendation episode.
So let's try to plan this show as if we're not going to die.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best
We're not in the
method.
We're not in the target. Coronavirus has a target audience and we're not in it.
True.
Yeah. They don't care about how we react to it. We're not like over 70 years old or like babies.
Do you have any pre-existing conditions?
Probably. I don't know.
No.
I don't know what that means.
Pre-existing condition. Like, do you have any heart
No.
problems or
No.
no?
I don't know. I haven't been to a doctor in a long time. Yeah, we might do a recommendation episode to give the people some ideas for things to watch while they are quarantining themselves.
Right. I like that idea.
Yeah, we'll do that. The decision is made,
and we're gonna be. This is fucking quality stuff, dude.
We're pulling back the curtain.
This is us.
This is what the people want.
Yeah, this is us planning our podcast in front of everyone
on the podcast.
Yeah, so we will be doing a lot more like streaming movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, movies are being delayed.
Right.
I mean, No Time to Die, the next James Bond movie, is being pushed back to November. Fast and Furious 9 got pushed back 11 months. And part of that is because the China market is so important to those movies and the amount of money Universal puts into them. They need China to go to that movie.
Right.
A Quiet Place Part 2 has been put back indefinitely. They didn't even give a date. The new Wonder Woman posters came out today, and they don't say the release date anymore. They just say coming soon. And one of them is terrible, by the way. Just an awful poster. It looks
one of the posters is bad?
It looks god awful.
Oh wow.
The American one. It looks terrible.
Right. Wait, hasn't there been a date on every single one of those posters though?
I think so. Well,
1984
is on them. Yes, that's true. Yes, but the release date is not included. So yeah, like movies are being highly affected. The whole movie industry. There's ideas floating around of like, are studios going to take movies that would have released in the movie theaters and put them to where you like buy them on the iTunes store or something, and you can stream them or buy them on Amazon or something. I think it'd be interesting to see if that happens. But yeah, we'll have to find some streaming stuff. Like Netflix has a bunch of movies coming out. The problem is I just never know if a Netflix movie is going to be any good. Very inconsistent. I don't care about Spencer Confidential. Sorry.
You're not gonna watch it for Post Malone, dude? You guys are basically best friends now.
I saw the clip, and I got it. I understood it. I got
or
the
is
vibe.
it because that you've seen all these famous people over this like past
Dude,
week?
I'm on a roll.
You just forgot about your best friend.
I am on
Post
a
Malone.
roll of seeing famous people.
Mm-hmm. You saw
over the past like week.
Jacked Kumail Nanjiani.
I saw Jacked Kumail Nanjiani
at fuck eating barbecue.
Yep, but he wasn't eating. He was just sitting outside. So I don't know if he was going to eat or not.
Right.
Maybe
he probably just goes there and smells it.
Yeah.
And then he like loses one ab.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw the Stranger Things kid, Noah Schnapp. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm on a roll.
Yeah.
Chris Ryan's not famous. He's just he's like A through F list celebrity. Where does a podcaster fall? Like,
yeah, but like even amongst podcasters, he's probably like
he's up there. He's he's
up there, but
he's
like,
a lot of podcasts.
People probably know more about Zach Lowe than they do about Chris Ryan, right?
I
would
know.
say so.
I don't know.
I would say so.
Probably. I don't know. I mean, Zach Lowe is on ESPN, so probably.
This has nothing to do
This
with
is weird.
Onward.
All right.
Let's-
Enough of
let's
this.
wrap this up.
This is rambling on. Find Chris. Read his scripts at chrismichaelstott.com. Is the new one up?
Yes, the new one is up. Fucking got a poster and everything.
Something
Looks
Havoc.
good. So it's called Play Havoc.
Play Havoc.
It's a coming of age drama about a young 9-year-old boy. It's set in South Carolina. Like
What's the
mid
boy's name?
90s ish? Huh?
What's the boy's name?
The boy's name?
Mm-hmm.
Jay.
Like Jay Crowder, or like Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
All right, read it. Yeah, go on chrismichaelstott.com. Check out Play Havoc. Find him on Instagram at chrismichaelstott. Find me, Davinwell25, on Twitter and Instagram. Find the show, The Chris and Kyle Show, on Instagram, on YouTube, on all the podcasting platforms. TCAX Pod on Twitter. We will be back soon with our recommendations episode. Mm-hmm. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Don't lick old people.
Unless you really want to.
No, don't do it. Be cool. We out.
We out. Stay weird.